So I've been doing a bit of travelling lately, and I visited about 9 countries, 10 countries altogether in the last 18 months. And I tell you what, none of those countries have free money. None of those countries have free money. There's no welfare system in any of the countries I've visited. And you know what? There's none of the problems we have either in the UK. And to some degree, the US as well, and Europe. But certainly I'm talking about the UK, I'm British, and what's happening now is largely as a result of a very failed welfare state. I think it's time we scrap the welfare state. We put in a minimum wage or a minimum amount of money for every single person that has paid into the system. And I mean those people that have been paying into the system as adults from 18 years of age onwards. And for how many years they've paid in, there's an amount of money available to them every week or month, depending on their status of work. The more they earn at work, the less they get paid by the government, and that's carefully monitored. And as for the health service, you might as well privatise it, because I believe the National Health Service is the largest employer in Europe, and is the worst managed one. There are so many failures within the NHS. You need to make it private, but you need to manage it correctly. And you need independent managers with, a good eye for corruption, and to make damn sure that the right people are doing the right jobs. Managing it privately is the best way. There's no such thing as a free health service anymore, because the people that need it most aren't getting it, and the people who've paid for it aren't able to get it either. So don't tell me that the NHS works. It doesn't. It failed years ago. So there's a number of things I want to comment on. Now, the other thing is, once we've scrapped the welfare state, Ant Middleton would be the man to not to be Mayor of London. No, Ant, sorry, buddy. You're a big, tough-looking guy, but you need to be the guy that rebuilds the military. There used to be a thing called National Service many years ago. I believe it was something like 17 years of age the young men were called up. Singapore, many other countries do national service or some form of national service, and it gets all the hoodies off the streets. All this nonsense where you've got young kids spitting at you and sticking the middle finger up and abusing people on the streets, that needs to stop. There needs to be a form of physical punishment, maybe caning or flogging, or some form of physical punishment to teach these little bastards a lesson. Or there needs to be much firmer policing. Now, talking to policing, the police force we have is pretty useless. It's failed. It's also corrupt, and that needs. It's like a rotten plank in a wonderful ship. It needs to be pulled out. It's festering badly. And I see that a lot of the police on the internet, certainly not just the YouTube videos, but a lot of them on the internet, on other channels, independent news channels as well, they need trainee badges. They don't know the law. They can't even speak English, half of them. I'm not going to be spoken to by some brown skin who doesn't understand my language when he's apparently got a British passport but can't speak the fucking language. If you're going to come into the country, you have papers, all right? You have papers. If you don't have papers, you're on the next plane out the next day. I had an experience where I was in a country, and this was only 9 or 10 months ago. I didn't have the correct papers. My passport was slightly damaged. I spent the night sleeping on a concrete floor. I was on the next plane out the next day. I did have papers, but they just weren't in particularly good condition. They'd seen a bit of travel. I was on the next plane out. I had to replace my passport, replace my visa. It cost me a few £100s. It cost me an awful lot more in flights and time. But that's how it is. Countries should not be letting people in if they don't know who they are. So, we're the ones, the white people should be the ones getting fucking reparations, not the black people. Reparations for what? You're owed nothing. You've been given an awful lot. You're getting nothing else. There is a big difference between the two cultures and the blacks and the whites. And it's us that's generated the culture. It's us that's generated the design, the buildings, the architecture, everything else. We've done it all. You've done absolutely nothing. You've contributed to nothing except rapping. So let's just get a few things straight. And I think the sooner we get Rupert Lowe and some common sense in power, the better. Amen.